and gentlemen, welcome back to my YouTube channel, welcome back to my live stream. This is Jacob Johnson 2024. We're going to talk about my WWE Smackdown review. I made this video a little bit late because, well, I just got back from my family vacation. So now I can do my full Smackdown review tonight. This is Smackdown June 20th, 2025. Now this will be like an hour long. I think I'll make it like an hour long. If you guys want to see more, hit that like button, leave a comment. Please subscribe to my channel. Let me know in the comment section if y'all want to see more. Enjoy this video. My video has been sponsored by PlayStation. It was sponsored by JD from New York, the Rad Brad, and so I'm off the sound off Fight for Pro Wrestling, Joe Cronin, No DQ, and the other favorite podcasters. Now, I will talk about the show. I'll talk about a little bit of AEW Dynamite that happened on Wednesday. And I'll talk about the news and rumors of what's going on in the wrestling world. And then we'll talk about SmackDown. We'll talk about the matches for next week, since that's the go-home show. Then we'll talk about the build to Night of Champion, which is next Saturday. Now these are the matches that were on the show. These were the matches that were on the show. I thought SmackDown was very good. Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton wasted. I don't know why. John Cena cut an epic pipe bomb to CM Punk. Man, the show was decent. It wasn't perfect. I think the only thing that saved the show was the ending with John Cena's epic promo. He cut a similar pipe bomb that CM Punk cut 14 years ago. I think that one was a little bit better. It's not perfect like the one Punk cut back in 2011, but that one was a lot better. That may have been the best promo for John Cena since he turned heel. John Cena's heel turn has definitely been a lot better since this feud with CM Punk. Alright, so now before I talk about SmackDown, there is some news and rumors. Nick Khan doesn't care about the IWC. He's at the IWC. We got, is this MMA? Or the UFC? We got Kano versus Crawford in Saudi Arabia. Now they have a press conference in Saudi Arabia to hype on this match. Alright. He's a liar. Here in the news and rumors.
I was smoking about a pack and a half of cigarettes a day. It definitely had control over my life.
Alright, hold on a second. The news and rumors. Tony Khan lies about AEW's success. Seth Rollins adding a fourth man to a group that still doesn't have a name. Nick Khan hates the IWC. Tony Khan did a meeting round before AEW Grand Slam Mexico on Wednesday and Brittany lied to Yahoo Finance over the success of AEW in 2025. The numbers prove otherwise, and Tony Khan is a liar. Seth Rollins maybe adding a fourth man to a group, and the two rising stars in NXT that are only consideration. And Nick Khan recently interviewed with Stephanie McMahon on What's Her Story podcast, and plain and simply put, Nick Khan and WWE hate people, tell them what to do, and pro wrestling promoters are so defiant of their own fan base. Now I'm only going to show you some of them, I'm not going to show all of it. Now, what happened on SmackDown, now there could be, I think Caesar planned that LA Knight might go to Raw and feud with Seth Rollins. since they had like a brief tear down at Money in the Bank, and since LA Knight was screwed out of the tournament, he also screwed Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker. So LA Knight, he wrestled Bronson Reed tonight in a pretty good match. It was decent. I think the match ended in a DQ because Braun Breaker got involved. Yeah, because Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed can't win a match clean. Most of the matches on TV have been like a DQ. It's been a brawl. So Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker, they beat up LA Knight. They beat him up real good. So we'll see what happens there. We're probably gonna get Knight on SmackDown. Maybe we'll get a confrontation with him and Seth. Seth putting on a show tonight. I'm sure he'll be on Raw this Monday. I do have Netflix, so I'll be able to watch Raw live. But yeah, that was it. That was the opener, by the way. It was a decent opener. We got the Queen of the Ring semifinals. Oh wait, I forgot. It's supposed to be Alexa Bliss. My bad. I did not mean to put Jade. My bad. I did not want to put Jade. I meant Alexa Bliss. I don't know how can I forget that. That's my bad. Yeah. So, Asuka versus Alexa Bliss. Night 1 by DQ. Asuka and Alexa Bliss were the semifinals in the Queen of the Ring. The match was very good. It was decent. Not perfect. Wouldn't say it was the best match. But Asuka got the win surprisingly. That might be Alexa Bliss. I thought Charlotte might get involved. But no, Asuka won clean. Now, Asuka, she came back on Monday Night Raw. She's not going to lose. I think we will see Asuka will go to the finals. Whether it's Jade or Roxanne. Whoever wins that match on Raw is going to face Asuka at Night Champions. I think it's pretty obvious that Jade's going to win. We had Randy Orton versus Sami Zayn. Now, we did have a pretty good segment with Randy Orton, Sami Zayn, Cody Rhodes, and Jey Uso. They all came out there and pretended he teased who's gonna win it. Sami came out there, he teased and he never won a world title. He teased it so heavily, it was pretty obvious he wasn't gonna win this match with Randy Orton. I knew he wasn't. I think Randy Orton was gonna win because it clearly gonna be Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton. Now, Cody Rhodes had to beat Jey Uso on Raw to advance to the finals. He's obviously going to win. Jay's not going to the finals. Unfortunately, it's not going to be Sami Zayn. Don't know what we do with Sami Zayn. Hopefully, we are playing for him to be in the main event scene. We just won't know. But obviously, Randy Orton won. It was a very good match. It was actually the match tonight, in my opinion. Best match in the show on Smackdown tonight. Very good match. Randy Orton got the win. Hit the RKO. He'll be facing Cody Rhodes in the finals, obviously. Charlotte Flair and Chelsea Green match wasn't that good. Actually, no one cared. Now who cared about Charlotte? Chelsea Green, I feel bad for her. She's not doing anything after she lost the Women's US title. Obviously, Charlotte won. She locked in the figure 4 leg lock and tapped out Chelsea Green. Then she got jumped by Piper Niven and Isla Dawn. Alba Fire and Piper Niven. Alexa Bliss came out. I don't know why, but she came out and helped Charlotte. I don't know what these two are doing. These two are clearly potentially teasing a match. We got R-Truth versus John Cena. Now, they put the main event, which I was surprised to see at the main event. And now you know what happened. The match didn't last that long. It went like 5 or 6 minutes. Maybe it was kind of like the same length that they had on that main event. But the match ended in a DQ because John Cena got the qualifying and he beat up R-Truth. And CM Punk came out. John Cena beat up CM Punk. I think he gave him the AA. He low-blowed him. He won the title. And then he cut the pipe bomb. It would give him a lot of time, like a good 10 minutes. I thought it was one of the best pipe bombs. This has to be one of the. This is the best thing for John Cena's heel turn since he turned heel in Toronto. I thought it was very, very good. Yeah, so, obviously the match ended in a DQ, so I'm pretty sure R2 won by DQ. So, these were the matches. Now, let me show y'all the news and rumors.
And the first thing that you do when you get to Mexico is not pop open a cold beverage, not put your feet in the sand, not sit in the sun and just relax without a care in the world. The first thing that you do is lie in an interview with...
Now, I almost forgot to mention, we did get some other segments on Smackdown here. We saw some other segments on here. We saw, I actually forgot to realize, now they did announce that next week on SmackDown, we will get Julia versus Zelina Vega for the Women's US Championship next week on SmackDown. SmackDown is the go-home show for Night Champions. They'll be in Saudi Arabia. So I guess wrestlers and other staff will be given a few days off because, you know, they're going to be in Saudi Arabia on SmackDown next week. Because that's the go-home show. And the Night Champions is on Saturday. It's probably going pretty early. So yeah, it's going to be Julia versus Zelina Vega for the US Championship. Hopefully, I think Julia has to win. I think she will win. She needs to win because Vega's doing nothing with that US title. So Julia has to win it. She's also new on the main roster. She's been built up fine. I think she's a winner. I think she'll go to a heel. I think fans want to see Julia be pushed. We know that next week we'll be seeing the Street Profits will be defending their tag team titles against the White Sith. I believe it's Joe Gacy and Dexter Lumis next week. I don't know who's gonna win that, whether that ends in a DQ or maybe we'll get a title change. The White Sith hasn't been pinned. They've been protected. They've been since they just came back like a few weeks ago. I'm not sure who's gonna win. I think you want to have the White Sith win, unless the match will end in a DQ. Now the Street Profits only had a time for like 3 months because they won it back in March. We're now in June. Maybe they might take off the Street Profits. So I think the White Sith might win those tag team titles. And we have Tiffany Stratton defending her Women's Championship against Nia Jax again, but this time it's a last woman standing match. Now we've seen this match far enough. We've seen this match too many times. The two have feuded all the way back since January. Tiffany Stratton she's only feuded with Charlotte Flair, and now Nia Jax. They've done the match too much. She's not on the pay-per-view, but she's on SmackDown. Now I think she will feud with Jade Cargill, probably going into SummerSlam maybe. Now we did get a segment with Tiffany and Nia. They brawled for a bit. We got Naomi. She teased a cast in, but Nia just stopped her. Now clearly Naomi's gonna be I think she'll cast in on Tiffany or Jade. I think we all know Jade's gonna win the Night Champ. She'll win a Night Champion. She'll be Queen of the Ring. She'll face Tiffany, and then Naomi's gonna cast in. And then we'll see where did Bianca fit into this. We haven't seen Bianca on TV. She's been taking some time off. Now she did came out from a finger injury. Hopefully we see you back on TV. Um, we actually had we also had a segment with Solo Sikoa and Jacob fought too. It I think this storyline with that, well, does Jacob make a man with Solo? Obviously he didn't. He said no. They had a brief back and forth here. Then we had a brawl with Solo and Jason Mateo. They brawled and they beat up Jacob, and Jimmy came out and helped Jacob to repel against Solo and Jason Mateo, Jeff Cobb. There was no Hikuleo. I'm surprised we didn't see Hikuleo. Maybe we'll see him at Night Champions. We'll probably see what happens there. I don't know. I was hoping we see JC Mateo, but maybe it could be a Night Champions. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, so I think that was Smackdown. I think I talked about everything. Now they did announce Jacob Fatu and Solo Sikoa at Night Champion for the U.S. Championship. So that's 5 matches. John Cena and CM Punk for the WWE Championship. We got the King and Queen of the Ring. Dominic Mysterio is going to defend his IC title against AJ Styles. And then we got Jacob Fatu and Solo Sikoa for the U.S. title. So that's 3 titles defended. And like I said, we got the Queen of the Ring, obviously going to be Asuka and Jade. And then the King of the Ring going to be Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton. Clearly, they're doing those 2. So that's 5 matches on the show. Unless they announce a match on the pre-show, which I doubt it. Alright, anyway, now I can go back to the news and rumors. Let's see what JD from New York gonna say.
About how successful your company is in 2025. June 20th.
Hold on, there's a commercial. I don't know what it is, but there's a commercial here.
June 20th, 2025. Yes, you shared how Paul Levesque is someone who shared his philosophy, a philosophy that the pair have imparted on those who work under them. We train our creative team to ignore the noise. Trust the data. Trust your instincts. Don't let Twitter or Reddit or whatever throw you off your game. Khan's instincts have led to massive success, obviously, for WWE, as the company continues to boast record profit. Now, while Khan is ready to implement some ideas fans may have, he's not going to drop all of his plans for what someone online has to say. If WWE didn't care about social media, or if anyone didn't care about social media, you would not have a presence on social media, and you would not be on social media at all. But WWE uses social media to make more money, to get their brand out there, and everybody uses it. And along with that comes the online criticisms. Along with that comes the praise for what you're doing, and everything in between. Everybody on social media is a loudmouth. Everybody on social media is a mark, including you watching me right now. I'm a mark, you're a mark, everybody's a mark. We love pro wrestling. We want it to be successful. We want it to be the very best that it could be. But I know someone's going to take what he says and completely throw it out of context. He's not saying that he doesn't listen. He doesn't listen to the loudest, probably me, the loudest voices in the room. Now, I don't have 14 followers. I have quite the following, and I have quite the voice. And my voice, you know, for better or worse, travels farther than I sometimes realize. And I've had people close to me tell me that the things that I say have an adverse effect on literally everything. I'll post something on social media, and everybody will see it. First person to tell me that was Justin LaBar many, many years ago, when I first got started in the content creation space. And he took notice that I was very, very overly critical at points, rightfully so, about the WWE product many, 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 many years ago. He said, every time you put something out on social media and every time you put something out on YouTube, someone somewhere is listening, whether you know it or not. And that's the case even more so now, and sometimes that escapes me. Nick Khan is going to listen to the fans. Triple H is going to listen to the fans. I won't be surprised if Nick Khan has 4 or 5 burners where he's on Reddit and he's on social media. Same thing with Triple H. There was a report not too long ago, right around the Royal Rumble, where it stated that Triple H, during the downtime on some Monday and Friday nights, he's on his burners looking at the reception to what he's doing creatively on social media. They all listen. They all look. They all have egos. But they're going to do what they want to do. They're going to do what they think is best. And when it gets bad enough, and their egos are hurt, and their confidence is bruised, then they'll go and change it, because the most important thing to these people are their ego and their money. And if you directly attack and they feel they are in jeopardy on both of those things, they will fix it. But it also to go where he lost in 2 minutes. Did you think he was released after that? Nobody thought he was released after that. You know when you found out he was released? When he went to social media and every major wrestling publication picked it up and every major news outlet picked up what his tweet said because of the volume of views his tweet did, and because of the volume of views the tweets from his colleagues accumulated. That in turn bruised Triple H's ego. That in turn bruised Nick Khan's ego to a point where it was reported Triple H made the decision to let R-Truth walk, and then it was reported that Nick Khan had to go clean up the mess, and he was the one to renegotiate a meeting in the middle contract with R-Truth. All of this was done because of social media. You can even go back to Monday where Green Bay, Wisconsin was chanting, "We want Goldberg," or chanting Goldberg while Gunther was in the ring. Where did they get that from? You mean to tell me Green Bay is just randomly blurting out the name Goldberg because they didn't hear it on social media? They didn't hear the rumors and innuendo on social media? Everything the company does filters through social media. Is it the end-all, be-all reason why they brought R-Truth back? No. But to say that it has zero impact is just foolish. LA Knight. He may finally be in position for a brand switch. According to WrestleVotes, there is significant backstage push within the WWE to move LA Knight from Smackdown to Monday Night Raw. The report indicates a growing sentiment that a brand switch could be a positive step for LA Knight's career in WWE. The move is reportedly being advocated by more than a handful of people within the company. The belief is that having Knight on the Netflix broadcasted Raw would serve as a refreshing change for his character. WrestleVote provided the following, and I quote, "According to those within the company, more than a handful of people are advocating for LA Knight to be moved to Monday Night Raw in the near future, as his presence on Netflix could be viewed as something of a refreshing change. LA Knight has become one of the more popular stars in WWE, and it's been organically built. His connection with the audience is organic, and it hasn't died off since he made the switch from Dupree to LA Knight. You guys remember that? Maximum Male Models. Nobody wants to remember that. While he has been featured in main event programs on SmackDown, including challenging Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship or the Undisputed Championship, United States Championship run twice, he has not really been given a fair shake creatively, and this is according to some of the fan base, who advocated for him to win Money in the Bank, which ultimately went to Seth Rollins, and now all of this discussion about let's push LA Knight, again on social media, has sparked change for LA Knight. A move to Raw could provide Knight with a new roster of opponents and fresh storylines, which you are already seeing take place across both Raw and SmackDown. Now, if you guys watch the show on a weekly basis like I do, I'm sure you do, being that you're here, you have seen LA Knight become a little bit more integrated in what Seth Rollins is doing. And he's He's got his thing going on with Bronson Reed. He's got his thing going on with Braun Breaker. He has been involved with that group. They cost him the King of the Ring. He cost Bronson Reed his King of the Ring. Seth Rollins stomped him, and he was a part of the field of Money in the Bank, stomped him. He didn't go after everybody in the Money in the Bank match on the go-home show for Smackdown, but LA Knight was one of his casualties. It came down to LA Knight and Seth Rollins at Money in the Bank to grab the briefcase. He is integrated in that story. A move to Monday where Rollins is going to be conducting most of his business is the right move to make. There's nothing more for him to do on Friday night. He's exhausted all options with the United States Championship. And the big kicker is, folks, and a lot of people, a lot of his fans don't realize this because they're pushing for him to win a world championship. The world championship is going from Cena to Cody. If it's not Cody, it's Randy. And if it's not Randy, it's Punk. And Punk may be moved over to Friday night for all we know. LA Knight's now factoring into a WWE Championship situation. Those names are on reserve for that title on Friday night. LA Knight is not. If you want LA Knight to win a World Championship, the best case scenario is for him to move to Monday Night Raw, where his likely opponents could be a Seth Rollins or a Gunther. And it gives Monday Night another top guy for the World Championship title picture. I would even put LA Knight in the Intercontinental Championship picture. A match with Dominic, a match with AJ. That mid-card is really impressive. Penta. There's much more opportunity for him to freshen him up on Monday night. I'm looking forward to it, and that is absolutely the right move. Whether or not that happens in a trade or a draft, we don't know. Supposedly the draft is supposed to be happening this fall. We'll see what happens, but LA Knight is already in motion for a move to Monday Night Raw.
I agree.
Moving on. Speaking of Monday Night Raw, Seth Rollins' new group, LA Knight, might have another name that he's going to have to go after because the rumor is that there are two names in discussion to join Seth Rollins' new faction. Now, we have Rollins, we have Breaker, and we have Bronson Reed, who was just added several weeks ago on Saturday night's main event. According to a new report from Bodyslam.net, two more names have been internally pitched to join Seth Rollins on Monday Night Raw. Now, this doesn't mean that both will join, but it says these two names are in discussion, so one of them could be joining. Both of them could end up joining, but right now the report only states that one of the two could potentially be joining. When the group first formed, reports indicated that WWE intended to keep it as a trio. That plan changed at Saturday night's main event on May 24th when Bronson Reed joined the group, and that happened after he attacked CM Punk.
Domino's new Parmesan stuffed
Alright,
pizza
alright,
tastes like
alright now, come on.
because Domino's has never had
Enough of these damn commercials.
Seriously.
CM Punk. Now sources indicate that WWE has had recent discussions about adding even more members down the line. The two names reportedly pitched internally to creative to potentially join the group right now are Ricky Starks, or Ricky Saints, and Ethan Page. That is, to me, the direction for both of those guys. Ethan Page would probably fit better than Ricky Saints. I could see Ricky Saints in the group, being that it just fits the model of what Rollins is looking for. But if you're looking for one perfect guy to fit in that group, out of the two, it is absolutely Ethan Page. And comically, the way that I look at it, not only does he got the attitude, he's young enough, he's got that Rollins-type vibe that Rollins is looking for. He looks good in his suit while doing it. Braun Breaker stands behind him wearing a suit. Bronson Reed stands behind him wearing a suit. Paul Heyman stands behind him wearing a suit. Ethan Page looks great wearing a suit. He'd fit like a glove, standing behind all three of those men and Paul Heyman. Ricky Saints came into WWE with a lot of hype, a lot of fanfare. They started him off as a babyface. I would love to see Ricky go heel. I think Ricky operates better as a heel. No problem with him as a babyface, but I think he works better as a heel. WWE right now is very heel heavy. WWE has been given a lot of preferential treatment to the heels. Do we need another heel turn For someone like Ricky Saints, probably not. What I would do, being that Ethan Page is right now the current North American champion on NXT television, give the title back to Ricky Saints, keep him down there at least till the Royal Rumble, and at the turn of the new year, you call him up and call Ethan Page up right now after he dropped the title back to Ricky Saints. And make Ricky Saints a two-time North American champion. He doesn't even need to hold the World Championship. He's good enough, TV ready enough to be on the main roster. It's all he would need. You don't need to hold the NXT Championship to get the call-up or deemed ready for a call-up to the main roster. Ethan Page is clearly ready for the main roster, and like I said, he would fit like a glove in the Seth Rollins group alongside Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker. I like that move a lot. In fact, I hope it happens, and I hope it happens before SummerSlam. I think that would be fantastic. And finally, we'll switch gears to the other Khan. Tony Khan. Tony Khan lies to Yahoo Finance on how successful AEW has been into. Now, AEW has struggled. 24 and quarter. They are coming well below.
Alright, look. Now let's see what Solomon has to say.
And he pulls out a Slim Jim table, right?
Alright, now come on.
One thing that I was looking forward to when John Cena.
Alright, come on.
She didn't realize it. Right around this time, 14 years ago, John Cena, funny enough, was wrestling R-Truth on Raw back in 2011. I believe they were having a tables match. And CM Punk sat on the stage, cross-legged, and he cut one of the most famous promos in wrestling history, the famous Pipebomb promo. As John Cena, who I think had been put through a table that was propped up in the corner, was licking his wounds in the ring. As Punk cut this promo that is still quoted today. Not only is it still quoted today, but it was quoted on the television show tonight in the closing segment. So we had a callback, a very big callback here, because they had John Cena cut his own version, basically a pipe bomb parody, on CM Punk in advance of their big championship match that's coming up next weekend at Night of Champions. He turned the tables, literally and figuratively, on CM Punk, and he cut his own version of the pipe bomb promo, and I already saw some of the comments. This thing is getting so much it's getting more glazed than a donut. Okay, you're not going to get any of that here from me. I'm not going to sit here and overly glaze about this promo. I know what they were going for. I thought it was clever. I thought there were some good aspects to it. No, it is not the promo of the year. No, it is not the segment of the year. It is a rehash of a famous promo that took place 14 years ago and was not nearly as good. But one thing that I was looking forward to when John Cena, when he announced that he was going to have this retirement year, but even when he turned heel, I wanted to get John Cena and CM Punk. And the reason I wanted to get John Cena and CM Punk is because the two of them bring the best out of each other. And I thought that if there was any magic left in Cena on the mic, in the ring, Punk was the perfect person to help bring that out of him. And we saw some of that tonight. Like, what we got from John Cena in this closing segment was the best that we have gotten from John Cena since he turned heel. Now, that's a low bar, because this John Cena heel turn has been sputtering ever since what we saw at Elimination Chamber. It's been all downhill from there. So since then, a lot of what we've gotten with John Cena on TV, in my opinion, has been very lame, has been very underwhelming, to the point where I'm basically just begging for him to go back to being a babyface at this point. But what we saw tonight, he was out there clearly having fun with it. But this is the closest thing to a segment that I've seen with John Cena where I looked at it and said, okay, all right, this is a little bit closer to maybe the sort of thing I was hoping for. And it's no surprise that it comes here in a feud with CM Punk, because still in 2025, these two bring the best out of each other. And it gives me some degree of hope that even in the match that they have in Saudi next week, I'm not expecting anything remotely close to what they put together back in 2011 and 2013, the last time we saw them one-on-one in that pile driver match on Monday Night Raw. I'm not foolish enough to expect that. Cena doesn't have it in him anymore to have a match like that. He just doesn't. But I think if anybody can bring him as close to that level as possible, it's CM Punk. So I'm hopeful that we can get something really good from these two next weekend in Saudi. But what they were going for here with this closing segment, other than the obvious callback, was Cena throwing it back in Punk's face that effectively you have become the very thing that you hated back then when you cut that same promo on me. That's you now, right? You're not fighting against the system, you are the system. You're not scratching and clawing and trying to get to the top of the mountain, you're a millionaire, right? You're not Punk, you're corporate. Like, that's what he was trying to get across here in this promo. To say nothing, of course, of this idea that Punk is a hypocrite, because Cena is forcing him to do the one thing that he clearly never wanted to do, which is go to Saudi Arabia if he wants to wrestle Cena and win the WWE Championship. You've got to go all the way to Riyadh to do it, which I thought was also clever. So there were aspects of this promo that I liked, and I know what they were trying to accomplish with it and what they were trying to do with it. I cannot get past the obvious thing that stood out to me that just made me shake my head, which is how much of a fucking geek they made CM Punk look like in this segment. Now you have to picture this. Anybody who remembers the original Pipebomb, right? Cena was put through a table in the ring. Punk at least had the decency to walk all the way up to the stage and sit down on the stage to put some distance between himself and Cena. So Cena in the ring, even though he was sitting there, he was licking his wounds, eventually he came to, and he was listening and paying attention to what CM Punk was saying on that stage. Tonight, the most ridiculous part of this entire thing is that he put CM Punk through this, the mother of all tables. This is the most dangerous table in the entire world. And Punk is forced to lay there in this rubble for over 10 minutes, pretending to be unconscious. He is laying there as if he is just incapable of standing up, incapable of moving. He looks like he's taking a nap during this promo. And so we were like 5, 6, 7 minutes into this promo, and I'm like, he's still fucking laying there. He looked completely ridiculous. I couldn't get past it. I could not get past it. It was completely ridiculous. He may still be laying there. I need a report from somebody who is in the building tonight to let me know whether or not Punk is still, in fact, laying in the middle of the ring. It was so stupid. That aspect of it was so stupid. But the other thing that really struck me about that closing segment was the reaction, the crowd reaction to Cena. He was cheered like a babyface during this promo. So if you needed any other example of why this heel turn is sputtering and failing, these people don't want to boo this man. They are ready to cheer him. The number of dates that he has left, it's finite, right? We're running out of dates. That list is getting smaller and smaller and smaller of the dates and the cities that he has left here before he is done. And these people, they want to go out there, they want to pay for a ticket, they want to see John Cena one last time, and they want to cheer for him. And that's what most of the people in Grand Rapids tonight were doing during this promo. They were cheering for John Cena. They were chanting his name. And we may start to see this more often, where it's going to be even harder for some of these crowds to boo this man, even though he's kicking people in the dick and he's hitting them in the head with belts. Especially the later and the deeper we get into this year, I think you're going to see more and more of that. So if ever there was a reason to really look at this and go, boy, he's supposed to be a heel, but it's not really working out that way. I certainly noticed it in Grand Rapids today based on the reaction from these fans. So we're going to get into everything that Punk said during this promo, including the name drops. He name dropped some ex-WWE talents and who called them by their real name. See, that's always going to get a great response from the crowd. You name somebody that no longer works for the company, you call them by their real name, and you're going to get and he got some of that during the promo as well. We'll get into the substance of it and some more thoughts on the what do we call it now? Pipebomb 2.0? cheap knockoff 2.0. I don't know what you want to call it. But anyway, we'll get into all that. And one other thing. Originally, Smackdown, supposedly, the plan was for Smackdown to go back to 2 hours as of June 6th. That didn't happen. Not only did it not happen, but the reports seemed to indicate that for the foreseeable future, Smackdown was going to remain 3 hours. And I was ready to take a nosedive off the roof here. So now we come to find out, and there were some commercials during Smackdown tonight for it, there is a brand new legal drama coming to USA Network. For all the times I've talked about where have all the shows gone on USA Network, all the shows over the years, and all the dramas and the comedies and everything that this network has had, where are all the new shows on USA Network? They don't really have any anymore. Now they have one. It's called, is it Rainmaker or The Rainmaker? It's not Okada. But they have this new show called The Rainmaker that is coming to USA Network. It is a legal drama. And it starts on Friday night, August 15th at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. So that's when so at the latest, SmackDown is moving back to 2 hours. No later than August 15th, but it gets even better. Because multiple websites, multiple sources have indicated, and I'm taking a believe it when I see it approach. I've been burned once before. I will not be burned again. But apparently, as of July 4th, I salute you. On July 4th, SmackDown will be 2 hours in length. So it's possible SmackDown starting July 4th going forward is back to 2 hours. It's also possible it's only 2 hours because it's July 4th and the show is being taped that week, and it goes back to being 3 hours until the middle of August. But the point is, it looks like there is light at the end of a very dark tunnel. And in fact, SmackDown may well be going back to 2 hours. We'll see. We'll see. I'm trying not to get my hopes up too much, but it looks like this may be the real thing. And it cannot come a day too soon. I don't give a shit what anybody says. I posted about this the other day. People were like, oh, this is going to be terrible for the roster. And yeah, well, it's not going to be terrible for me. And guess what? WWE for many years, including right now on Tuesdays with NXT, has 2 hours of television programming. And at the end of the day, it's up to the booker, it's up to the creative team to do the best job they possibly can to make the most of the real estate that they are given on any given night. 2.5 hours like we have on Monday nights, 2 hours on Tuesdays, 3 hours, whatever it may be. The onus is on them to look at the roster they have, to delegate talent in the best possible way, to rotate talent in and out, to give them enough attention, maybe even shuffle the rosters around a little bit, spread some of the wealth around. I don't really give a shit. I'll take 2 hours of SmackDown over 3 hours of SmackDown any day of the week.
Yeah, me too.
So, fingers crossed, SmackDown may go back to the way it should be, 2 hours.
And thank God.
This is your Friday Night SmackDown review. I am the Solomonster. It is Friday. So that's the story they're telling going into this match here. But this segment here, to me, it was another illustration of why this is a failed heel turn for John Cena. You know, people may have had fun with the segment, but listen to the reaction that he got when he was talking and saying the things that he was saying. He was getting cheered like a babyface multiple times. Multiple times. He was stopped because the fans were cheering for him. These people want to cheer for John Cena because they don't have a lot of time left to do so. You know, every place he goes is the last time he's going to be there to begin with. But they want to be able to celebrate this guy, you know, and enjoy what little time they have left with him. But up to this point, it just has felt like this has been a very half-hearted heel turn. They did not have a plan. That's the thing. They knew that John Cena was going to have a retirement year a year ago. And you would think, like, one of the biggest stars in the history of your company, that you would map this shit out, like, month by month. Okay, here's what we're going to do with you. Step by step. Let's storyboard this whole thing. And it just felt like, you know, and even to hear them tell, like, what happened heading into WrestleMania and everything, And interviews that have been done with different people, and Triple H himself comments that Triple H made even before WrestleMania, like, oh, it was my idea. I was the one who pitched the idea that, hey, why don't we have John Cena turn heel? And this all happened in like February. So, like, we saw what we saw in Toronto at Elimination Chamber, and everybody got all excited about The Rock and Cena, and just, that shot of them together in the ring. And that was a great angle. It was one of the best angles they've done. But there was no follow-up. There was no follow-up plan. They did it, and it's like, we're going to piece this together as we go along. And I just think for someone in the position of a John Cena, it's almost inexcusable that you didn't have a better plan for this in advance. You can't just blame that on The Rock. That's on Triple H and WWE Creative and everybody involved in this process. So I feel like that's one of the biggest reasons why this John Cena thing has felt so hollow this entire time. Like, it just hasn't felt like his heart is into it. And maybe tonight was the first time where it felt like maybe that wasn't the case. He was definitely out there having fun with it. But up until this point, that's not been the case. It's been very underwhelming. And I don't know that this is going to mark some kind of turnaround. Now the heel turn's going to hit, hyperdrive. I don't think so. But at least the stuff with Punk, though, should be very good. Now, I hope that we get a retort from CM Punk next week, whether it's on Raw or it's on SmackDown. Put a mic in his hand, let him go, out there and say his piece to John Cena, because it's what he does best, right? Reacting and responding to a promo like this. So hopefully we get that. But the days of Cena turning back babyface, it's basically a countdown at this point, because it's coming. It's just a matter of when. Counting down the days. Poor R-Truth, he just vanished in all this. I mean, talk about not having a plan. I mean, are you really surprised? R-Truth is not supposed to be there. They were pressured into bringing him back. They had no plan for him. So, this is not surprising. Guy cut his hair off. And he got another match with John Cena, which somehow was even more of a waste than the first match with John Cena. So I don't know what that means for his future. I think he's going to be eating a black mass kick in the next few weeks from Aleister Black. That's what I think is going to happen. But just remember that. They got pressured into bringing Ron Killings back. They had no plan for him. I have people asking me if I think that maybe they could do a story with him, or the longer-term plan is to get him to the WWE Championship. No. There is no plan for that. I promise you, there is no plan for that. Now, next week on SmackDown, they're going to be in Riyadh, because next Saturday is Night of Champions. But next Friday, it's all title matches they announced so far. We have Zelina Vega defending the United States Championship against Julia. So this may be that title change that I figured we were going to get. I mentioned this before Money in the Bank. You need to build to Julia taking the U.S. title from Zelina Vega. The title will be in better hands with Julia, because the fans have not invested in Zelina. She goes out there to crickets. The title is dying on the vine. You got to get it on somebody who they're going to push. And there's already reports that they have plans for a big Julia push. So I didn't know if they would get to the match this quickly, but they should do a title change. We need a new U.S. champion next Friday.
Yeah, I agree.
The Street Profits are going to defend the tag team titles against the Wyatt Six, Joe Gacy and Dexter Lumis. And then we have Last Woman Standing, with Tiffany Stratton defending her WWE Women's Championship against Nia Jax. And I would expect Cena and or Punk to be on the show as well, because it's 24 hours before Night of Champions. So that is the lineup for SmackDown next Friday. Let's take a look at the Twitter poll. See what the results are. What did you think of SmackDown from Grand Rapids? 81% thumbs up, roughly 19% thumbs down. Guess a lot of people enjoyed that Cena promo. Probably where a majority of that is coming from. But you can go vote at Solomonster on Twitter.
Alright, now let's see what JD from New York has to say. Hold,
United
hold
States
on.
Secretary of Homeland Security. Thank you, President Donald J. Trump, for securing our border.
I wake up. Instead of going to my espresso first, I usually down Imagine. Week. So happy to be back. So happy to have my green screen. So happy to be back in my beer garden. So happy to be back in the Dark Horse. So happy to have. And then Tuesday Night Titans celebrates episode 100 on Tuesday with the Solemn announcement. So it's going to be a big week, and I want to thank you guys for joining me right here on Friday night. Smackdown. The rumor is Smackdown's going back to 2 hours. I pray to God, I pray to the wrestling gods that rumor is factually correct. I don't know what else to tell you. If this show was 2 hours, it would have been one of the best Smackdowns of the entire year. The fact that this was 3 hours, we got a decent Smackdown. It's basically the simplest way for me to put it. This show at 2 hours would have been great. The fact that it was 3 hours, it was a 5.5 out of 10 show. Very middle of the road, very boring in some parts, but the substance, the stuff that was good, carried the show tonight. And obviously the big thing that everybody is talking about, the big thing that is going to be on everybody's mind even after this show is over, is what John Cena did to CM Punk tonight in the closing segment of Friday Night SmackDown. Before we get into what Punk and John Cena did, obviously they're building towards their WWE Championship match at Night of Champions next Saturday. I do want to say that I'm glad R-Truth is back. I'm glad R-Truth is integrated into the story. I don't know where he's going to be and where he's going to continue to fit in, but I would not be me if I did not sit here and just let my emotions known to you guys. I would not be me if I did not let you know how I was feeling, and I lay it all on the table. R-Truth and John Cena tonight, I was excited to see what they would do in the aftermath. The aftermath of John Cena and R-Truth, I don't know where they're going. By the time we got to what we got to at the end of the show, that match felt like it never fucking happened. It felt so irrelevant. It felt so much like an afterthought. They might as well not have even done it, to be quite honest with you. They completely just bypassed whatever they did, and nobody's going to be talking about R-Truth at the end of the night. Nobody. So, I don't know how you guys feel. I know everybody was so excited about R-Truth being back, and everybody was excited that WWE brought him back, and they listened to the fans, and whoever else they listened to. The fact that they did what they did tonight, it just felt so inconsequential that almost, it just felt like it was never there, honestly. So that's my one negative takeaway from that. Where has this John Cena been throughout this entire hero run? Where has this particular John Cena been? Has there been a change in plans? Has there been creative discussions about how we're going to operate the last 6 months compared to the first 6 months? Is CM Punk actively working with John Cena to flesh out this storyline and get us something special, because this is it. After this, it's over. There's no more. Where has this John Cena been? John Cena turns heel on March 1st, 2025, with the help of The Rock, selling his soul, if you even want to call it that, by aligning with The Rock and doing The Rock's business to get back to Cody Rhodes. John Cena ended up winning the WWE Championship at WrestleMania in one of the worst main events in WrestleMania history, with one of the worst endings that I've ever seen as a professional wrestling enthusiast. On the way to WrestleMania, John Cena cut 3 separate promos on the fans and then on Cody Rhodes. John Cena came back to us as a heel as a vindictive lover. He came back as a vindictive ex-boyfriend slash girlfriend. He was very angry with the fan base. We were to blame. He wanted to get back at us. He wanted to get back for years of abuse, verbal abuse, from us to him over 20 years. It started to become more John Cena versus the fans than John Cena versus Cody Rhodes. And then the match, clearly, did not deliver. Awful. After that, we went right into a Randy Orton program. Cody Rhodes remained off TV. Then we got the tag team match with Jey Uso and Logan Paul with Cody Rhodes. It was fine. It was fine for what it was. We got R-Truth back. Then we got R-Truth and John Cena. And now we got CM Punk and John Cena heading into Saudi Arabia Night of Champions. But again, I ask, where has this John Cena been for the first 6 months of this heel run? It almost seems that WWE has flipped the switch, and John Cena is becoming and starting to act like the heel he should have been from day one, which is a cool heel. I don't want to put words into Triple H. I don't want to put words into Triple H's mouth. I don't want to put words into Road Dogg's mouth or whoever is handling the booking here on Friday Night Smackdown. Collective effort. But I'm going to put my conspiracy theory cap on and say, I genuinely feel that WWE has seen the mistakes and seen the logic gaps and seen the dissatisfaction in some of John Cena's heel work so far, that they're going to operate the second half of this run much differently than they did the first half. As far as I'm concerned, by what we saw tonight, John Cena should have been this heel with Cody Rhodes. John Cena should have been the heel that we got tonight on March 3rd when he showed up on Monday Night Raw. Actually, no, he didn't show up on Monday Night Raw March 3rd. We didn't see John Cena till the European Tour 2 weeks after the Elimination Chamber. We should have seen this John Cena from the first appearance he made after turning heel on everybody. He thought coming out and giving us nothing and ruining professional wrestling was going to be the way. It never really materialized into anything. John Cena still could have got to the same place he is now by wanting to ruin pro wrestling and being the 17-time, never-seen-before world champion. John Cena could have won the championship and vowed to hold it for the rest of the year and take it with him into retirement. He could have did all of that without the version of John Cena that we have gotten since the Elimination Chamber. John Cena should have given us a new character, a new theme, a new feel. For 48 years old, John Cena should have reinvented himself in the last year of his run, and he opted to do nothing. Because he thought, by doing nothing, it would be the ultimate heel move. But the thing is, nobody resonated with that John Cena. Nobody was emotionally attached to that character of John Cena. It became overbearing. It became forced. It became unnatural. It became very cringy. Not to say that John Cena is cringe, because John Cena still has shown glimmers of greatness, even with what he's doing. But tonight, for 10 minutes, John Cena blew everything away that he's done so far in 2025 with one promo to one man for one match. He's basically showed everybody exactly the heel he should have been since the very first words he spoke after turning on Cody Rhodes. I will not sit here and say anything else about John Cena's heel run. What we got tonight should have been the very direction we should have gotten from day one. John Cena is a cool heel. John Cena operates when he's cool. John Cena operates best when he's cool, when he's out there slicing and dicing people with his words. John Cena is at his best when he is the way that he was with CM Punk tonight. John Cena is at his best when John Cena is dropping pipe bombs. He's done that for 20 years. I don't know why you took CM Punk for him to find his way back to who John Cena truly is. This is the first time that John Cena felt like a heel in this entire run. This is the first time John Cena felt like that old John Cena in 20 years. WWE delivered a fantastic segment. One of the best segments that you'll see all year in any professional wrestling company on any show. They ended Smackdown in the most epic way possible with John Cena reenacting the pipe bomb that CM Punk cut on John Cena in Las Vegas, that fabled night where Cena was...
I'm Ju. I'm the co-founder,
Damn it, commercial.
and I founded the viral Mighty Patch. I was living in Korea from 2012 to
cut on onto. It's dropping. John Cena did the same thing to him, to Punk tonight. Man, it goes to show you that when CM Punk's words hurt John Cena, he only comes back and does it even more nastier. CM Punk said that it's funny. You're the heel, I'm the good guy. Last time we had this discussion, I was the heel and you were the good guy. Seems like you're doing my shtick. It seems like you're stealing my gimmick. You're gonna take the title away and retire with the championship. Gee, that sounds quite familiar. Sounds like me. Sounds like John Cena is trying to be CM Punk. John Cena certainly lived up to those words tonight because he absolutely fucking dropped his pipe bomb on CM Punk that I know CM Punk is already calculating what he's gonna do to John Cena on the go-home show, whether that is Monday or whether that is Friday next week in Saudi Arabia. Tremendous segment. Tremendous segment. We're gonna go over. I hope I have somebody that has transcribed this word for word. I will try and find it. If you guys want to help me out, try and find what website has it transcribed tonight so that we can read along to it and dissect it. Absolutely incredible ending to Smackdown. And the best thing that not only John Cena has done in his entire heel run, but my God, man, this John Cena CM Punk feud, I understand people might not love CM Punk for the decisions that he's made morally. But there is absolutely no way that you can watch this and say that they aren't doing a brilliant job of building this match, knowing that it is the very last time that you will see these two men on television together over the next 3 weeks. Fucking great. Fucking great. And yeah, I understand. You might not like CM Punk. But man, when CM Punk is a part of something, man, how many people step up to the plate and show their best face? How many people step up to the plate when Punk is staring them in the face, whether it's a promo, a match, getting ready for a build to a match, and a big pay-per-view? How many people step up and fucking put their best foot forward, man? Punk just has that natural ability to pull shit out of people and make everything feel like it's the biggest fucking thing going on in any company. Fact. Fact. Punk is main event. You are seeing it now. Because he's done the one thing that nobody else has been able to do. Not Cody, not Randy, not Truth, not Jey Uso. It's a small list. But he's the one guy that has been able to do something that the others have not. And have pulled out John Cena at a fucking John Cena Jey Uso match. We could sit here and be looking at a fucking John Cena Logan Paul match. Punk is half responsible for what we're getting with John Cena right now in the next 3 weeks. Fucking great. So whether you like him or not, whether you are disgusted by his moral actions or not, I quite frankly don't give a fuck. Because what you're watching is somebody in Punk pull out John Cena to the best fucking story he's probably going to end up telling for his entire last year as WWE Champion. Love it. Absolutely love it. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about the pipe bomb that Cena cut, what he said. Great stuff to end the show. King of the Ring, Orton, Sami Zayn. I was looking forward to seeing what WWE's decision would be. How would they go to the finals in Saudi Arabia? Again, I said it for weeks, and you guys know it. You guys know that I've said it. I can't wrap my head around the fact that we have Randy Orton on one side of this tournament and Cody Rhodes on the other. WWE did exactly what I felt they were going to do. Randy Orton and Sami Zayn gave us one of these two guys in the finals. It's exactly how I knew it would play out. I love Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn and Cody Rhodes is a great story. Sami Zayn and Jey Uso is an even better story. Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton in Saudi Arabia, I can't see WWE not doing that match at Night of Champions, and that's exactly what we got. Tonight's match with Randy Orton and Sami Zayn only made the match on Monday even more predictable. WWE's not going into Saudi Arabia without Cody Rhodes on that show. WWE's not going into Saudi Arabia with Jey Uso going on to wrestle Randy Orton. I'm sorry. Jey Uso was only there because WWE bent the knee to Rikishi. Cody and Randy is going to be your King of the Ring final, and what you're going to get is Cody Rhodes versus John Cena 2 at SummerSlam, coming out of WrestleMania, and he's going to get his revenge on Cena. What Randy Orton does coming out of that King of the Ring final, I don't know. But I'm hoping that we start to see some of the cracks in Randy Orton to where he looks at Cody with jealousy, envy, and disgust. Because that's going to be the next natural story for when Cody Rhodes wins the WWE Championship back. Cody and Jey is happening on Monday. King of the Ring tournament basically concluded tonight, and the finals will be next Saturday. Honestly, Randy, Cody, that's going to be your final next Saturday, as I predicted. I just could not see WWE not doing that match. For the ladies, again, I was correct when I said Alexa, Asuka. I could see Alexa win, but Alexa doesn't factor into much of anything on the opposite side of the tournament. Asuka advanced tonight. She's back. She wins her first 2 matches. She's in the finals. She's going to Saudi. And she's probably going to go on to wrestle Jade Cargill. They have history. Small history, but history nonetheless. Roxanne Perez is also a wild card, but I will say that Roxanne now, in a tournament where Liv Morgan is out and injured, legitimately out for 6 months, we talk about that tomorrow on OTS. It's already in the can, it's going to be uploaded tomorrow afternoon, we talk about it. 6 months out. Liv's injury also does Roxanne good. Not only on screen, but for when Liv gets back as well, because there's a natural storyline there for her to return to. But it also makes this match with Jade Cargill a little bit more unpredictable, because you don't know where they're going to go. Roxanne Perez could win Queen of the Ring. Roxanne Perez could realistically win Queen of the Ring, and she could be the centerpiece for the Judgment Day in the absence of Liv Morgan. I just don't think WWE's going to go and tell that story, especially with Naomi running around with the women's Money in the Bank briefcase, because Naomi, Jade, Bianca, that's the story that WWE's put a lot of effort into. That's the story that WWE has made over several weeks of television about. That's going to be the story that they're going to tell. Jade Cargill and Asuka is going to be your final for the Queen of the Ring. And Jade is going to win the Queen of the Ring tournament. Jade is going to get that championship match at SummerSlam. Naomi is going to walk out the new women's champion next to Bianca Belair. That's what I see happening. Solo Sikoa, Jacob Fatu, United States Championship, signed, sealed, and delivered for Night of Champions this coming Saturday. And we got LA Knight continuing his feud with Seth Rollins and his new group, which right now is rumored to be adding a fourth man. Who that will be, we talked about that today on the upload that went live this afternoon as well. We'll talk about it again here. Smackdown, I thought some of the major stuff that happened was really good. Other than that, the show had a lot of fluff, and this is exactly why you see Smackdown needs to be 2 hours and not 3. If this was a 2-hour show, it would have been great. 3 hours, it stressed the show too long, a lot of filler, and ended up being a very dead middle of the show. We got a lot to talk about tonight, guys. Thank you very much for joining me here on Off the Scripts. Again, it's happy to be back. Or I'm happy to be back. It's great to be back in the beer garden. You guys are awesome. Follow me on social media at JB from NY206, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Cameo. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for all notifications. Go check out today's upload. Go check out all the uploads this week, 2 of which were on vacation. And they might not sound the way that we usually sound.
Alright, guess I'll see y'all later. Gonna stop the video, I made it long enough. Thank you for watching, thank you for all the support. Until next time, I'll see y'all later.